Welcome to online training session. Now the topic we are discussing is single parenting. Now we'll start our discussion by looking at the various content which we are going to discuss here. And the first one we are going to look at is the introduction as usual. And then we will look at the causes of single parenting. Then we also have a look at the effect on children. That is single parenting. Then we look at how to handle single parenting. That is handling single parenting. And then we look at the impact of single parenting on children's development. Now let's begin with the introduction. Now we will start by looking at what a single parent family means. That is, according to this researcher Thompson and Gonja, 1983, single parent is seen as the father or mother that is raising her or his or her own children. That is how they looked at it. That when we talk about single parent, that is a father or a mother singularly raising his or her own child. Then we also have a look at what a single parent means. Then a single parent is a person who lives with a child or children and who does not have a wife, a husband, or a partner. That is according to Wikipedia. So with these two backgrounds, we have fair knowledge about what a single parent is. Now, looking at a single parent, we say that a single parent may have either sole custody of the child or joint physical custody, where the child lives part-time with each parent. So we are looking at a single parent as the means whereby the father could be living elsewhere separately, the mother could be living elsewhere, and then the child at some point in time will live with the father, and another point in time who can also live with the mother. So it's seen as a part-time with each parent. He shares some life with each parent. That is a single parent we are looking at here. So we say that parents are among the most important people in the lives of young children. And that is a good statement, that parents are the most important people in the lives of young children, because they are the first people that children come in contact with, the first people that children have they have the chance to live their life with. And so they are important people in their life. Now, single parent can be caused by a lot of factors, which include divorce. So married couples can divorce, and as a result, the child will live with only one parent. There could be breakup, marriage breakup, abandonment, could be death of the other parent, childbirth, or a single woman or single person adoption. So even adoption can also be seen as a single parent. Now, we want to go ahead to look at the causes of single parenting. And the first thing we are looking at is single parenting can arise as a result of our social norms. And here we see it as people who grew up in single parent families or step families, they are likely to follow the same. So this can cause, it's a social norm. Definitely people who grew up in a single parent families, that's all they know. Maybe if he's living with his dad alone or he's living with his mom alone, he lives with mom throughout his lifetime, and therefore the likelihood that he will follow the same is high. Now, young people may also find it easier to leave a bad relationship and to raise child alone than to make and keep a long-term commitment. Yes, so this is a cause can be a cause of single parent. Yes, that bad relationship. People would definitely want to quit, whether they are children or not. They would quit the relationship and will live with the child alone instead of keeping committed to the relationship for quite a long time. So this can be a cause. And then the second cause can arise from the attitudes toward individual freedom. And here we say that individualism encourage people to put personal fulfillment above family responsibility. So some people will think of pursuing their visions rather than getting committed to a marriage, especially some women, some career women who might see relationship, might see marriage as a hindrance to their career development. Sometimes they will think about themselves, think that I want to go higher, but my relationship, my marriage is pulling me down. Therefore, I may have to quit this marriage. Sometimes they may have children, and then it will arise in this single parenting. And then economic independence can also be a cause. And here we say women who are economically dependent may not want to submit under any man's authority. Yes. Some women are powerful in society. Some women are economically dependent. Their finances are better sometimes even than their husbands or their men. And therefore, instead of staying and submitting to authority that they feel is hindrance to their development, some may want to quit. At least they have their children, therefore they break up the marriage and then they live with their children alone. And this is also a cause, can cause single parenting. Now, children end up in care of single parent when such things arises because he's got money. The woman has enough money to take care of himself and take care of his children. Why will a man bluff on her? So she feels she may end up, and the children may end up in single parenting. Now, death of a partner can also be the cause of a single parenting. And here we would look at it in a way that we say that common and acceptable cause of single parenting. This is a common and acceptable cause of parenting. People accept this when a single parenting, normally these are seen as widows and yes, widows. So if the partner dies, then he is left alone with the children. And therefore, he singularly take care of the kids. And he's saying here that is the most acceptable and common cause of single parenting. And people sympathize with such single parenting because it's a natural cause. If your spouse dies and leave you, it's not your cause. You have not caused anything. It's nature. So it's the most acceptable cause. And people tend to sympathize with such single parenting. Now, these are normally caused by diseases and maternal deaths. And these are the most causes, true. So you fall sick, the parent can fall sick and die. Sometimes the mother may be giving birth, maternal, and then she dies. And the child will be left alone with just one parent. Now, divorce is also another cause of single parent. And in divorce, we say that it's in recent years that divorce is gaining more popularity with young couples separating, especially in our part of the world, in Africa and in Ghana here. A lot of people are divorcing. Divorce rate is going high because marriages are facing a lot of challenges, especially in this economic instance. So divorce is gaining momentum, and mostly it's not the acceptable cause of single parenting. Some may have one or two children, and then they divorce, and as a result, the children would have to live with just one parent. It's. And then the next cause that we can look at is unintended pregnancy. Yes, some young men and young women. Some of them are teenagers. Some of them are students. Unintentionally, they get pregnant, and as a result, they end up living with their kids alone because um, the partner might not be financially sound to be able to maybe marry the person. Therefore, he's left just alone with the child, and this can cause. And this is mostly caused among young women, especially students who get pregnant along their way. Now, so this is usually out of wedlock birth, which may intentionally or unintentional. So this is sometimes it's intentional. Some people may just want to get pregnant. Yes, just to force maybe the spouse, if she's a woman, she'll get pregnant just to force the man so to marry her. Sometimes if it is the man too, the man can force in a way to impregnate the woman just to have his way or to marry her. But sometimes it's unintentional, and sometimes they are intentional. That I want a baby, I just want to get a baby but not get married. So that is another cause of single parenting. Now, here, where out of wedlocks births are accepted by society, they may result in single parent. So, in a case where the couples are not married, therefore, once they are not married, they can't live together in certain society. They are not accepted, and so the parents may have to live in separate homes, which can cause single parenting. And then where they are not acceptable, they sometimes result in forced marriage. And however, such marriages fail more often than others. Yes, so societies that may accept such unintended pregnancy, sometimes they force the couples or the two parents to get married. And once you are forced to marry, the tendency that the marriage will break up is high. And this can also result in single parenting. Now, social, we also want to look at the effects on children, the effect of single parenting on children. Now, so social scientists have found that children growing up in single parent families are disadvantaged in other ways when compared to two biological parent families. So scientists have found out that there is disadvantage for children who lives with just single parents as compared to the two biological parents, especially when they are in a family. Definitely, there are some disadvantage when one of the parent is missing in action or is not available to take care of the child. So some of the effects on the children are, we're going to discuss some of them. We can look at lack of parental control, especially from the father or from the mother, and this is obvious. Once one is missing, especially if they are boys, they expect to be inspired by the father or the man. So if the man is missing in action, then there is the parental control as far as the man is concerned is missing. Now, lack of role models for the kids, as Vin has been just said. Yes, so the father definitely act as role models to the boys, and then the mother as role models to the girls. So if it is the boys who are missing their role model, that's the father, it definitely affects them. And if it's the mother, the girls who are also missing their role models, it's in a little bit or in a little way you can say it affects the children because they are not having a role model as they grow. We've learned in other topics that fathers are role models to the family, especially to the children, and therefore if they are missing in action, sometimes it affects the children so much. Then here there are also lower levels of educational achievement. It's true. Just a single parent can may not have enough to be able to take care of. And then they are twice, as research say, twice as likely to drop out of school because the role model is not there. Sometimes the care is not there, so the children have nothing to look up to, and sometimes they are likely to even drop out of school. Sometimes frustration in life can cause that. They are frustrated so much that they have no energy, they have no role model, they have no one to look up to. Now, they are likely to become teen parents. It's true. They are likely to become teen parents because they have no control in their life. One of the parents is missing, more especially if the father who is seen as the head of the home, the father who is supposed to be the head of the home to direct the children, especially when they are boys. When they are missing, it's easy. They have their way if they are children too. They have their way if they are girls. Mostly the girls are likely to become teen parents. That is, they become they can get pregnant at their teen age because of lack of control for one of the parents. Now, more conflict with their parents, yes. Yes, because the parents, one is missing in action, it's likely that there'll be conflict with the parents. Sometimes fighting with the parent because the certain issues are not so clear to them. They ask themselves questions. They go to school, they meet their friends, their colleagues who have their parents always with them, but they come home and they feel one of the parents is missing. A lot of issues can arise. Therefore, there can be conflict with the parents. And then effect is that they are less supervised by adults. It's true. Less supervised by adults, especially when it is only one parent and even the parent might be frustrated because he's a sole caretaker of the children, and therefore sometimes the children are left alone without any supervision and they do whatever they like. Because if there are two parents, at least when one is busy or one is missing in action, definitely the other will support. But if it's only one, it becomes difficult in terms of supervision. Now, yes, they are likely to become truants when one parent is missing in action. Truant. Just one parent taking care. Sometimes they lose control. The children will lose control. Sometimes the single parent may also lose control over them, and therefore they can become truants. Now, more frequently abuse drugs and alcohol. Yeah. The lack of control, the lack of supervision, etc., can cause them to get into drugs and alcohol. Though there are some children who have both parents present in their life, yet they end up being drug addicts. But the likelihood that a single parent child can get into drug abuse is higher. and that is what we are looking at. Now, they are more high risk to be in sexual behavior, high risk sexual behavior. Yes, you may get into sexual behaviors um, because of the control that they lack. That's why we said they are likely, if they are girls, they are likely to be get pregnant, and then if they are boys too, they are likely to get impregnate other girls because the control is halved. Now only one parent is taking control or supervising the children. So that is the issue. Now they are likely to join a gang. It's likely to join a gang, especially when we are seeing the supervision is low. They can join gangs and get into a lot of that's why I said more, especially when they are boys and they are only supervised by the mother alone. Sometimes the mother, one parent might even want to show that he loves the child, and as a result lose control, and so they are likely to join a gang. Now they are likely to go to jail. Once you join a gang, the likelihood that you go to jail is there. So, and then they are likely to need help for emotional and behavioral problems. Likely to need for help in terms of emotional and behavioral problems. So they are likely to need help for emotional and behavioral problems. Yes, most of the time such children have emotional problem or behavioral problems because a lot of things go through their mind. If it's the mother who is missing, they keep asking themselves questions. Why are they not having a mother? If it is a father, they keep asking themselves, what have they done? What's their problem? Why they are going through that? And therefore, it's likely that they are more emotionally stressed most of the time and may need help. Now they are likely to participate in violent crime. Yes, crime that goes on, they are likely to participate since they lack the full control that is needed in their life. And some of these things happen to single parents when, let's say, a father is missing in the scene and the mother is only taking care of the children, and these things are likely to happen. Now they are likely to commit suicide, yes, because frustration can set in because of their emotional problems that they go through, because of the behavioral problems that they encounter in their life. They are likely to commit suicide. Some of them, if care is not taken, they may end up committing suicide. Now they are likely to get divorced in adulthood because they might have experienced that. They saw how their parents treated each other, and as a result, there was a divorce. And therefore, they may grow up in that kind of spirit and may not succeed in marriage, ending up in divorce, especially if they are coming from the same situation. They saw their parent divorcing in life. So they are likely to get divorced when they get married. Um, Now, how do we handle single parenting? How do we handle single parenting? Now, the first thing is that we need to set up a support system. Now, single parenting is something that sometimes cannot be prevented, especially in times where there is death. So it's the likelihood that every every parent can fall in a single parenting is high. Let's say, as for divorce, maybe the two families can work together to prevent divorce. You can prevent all that we listed, but you can't prevent death from happening. So we all have the chance to end up in single parenting. That's why it's important to know some of these things. So if you end up in a single parent, as a single parent, then the first thing you need to look at is you need to set up a support system. Now you have to seek help for the kids' care if it happens because you are alone taking care of the kids. So you need help. Help is needed. Like I said, if they were two, when one is busy, the other can make himself available for the kids. For example, the father and the mother are taking care of the kids. The kids will go to school. If daddy cannot pick them from school, he can just arrange with